Back in 2002, when I was a newly ordained priest, I was assigned to St. Charles Borromeo across town for my first year. And after that, I went up to Bellingham to be pastor at Sacred Heart. But in those first few weeks as a new priest at St. Charles, and they're used to having new priests all the time, they're very good at training the new priests in our diocese. I think there have been like over 30 priests have gone through St. Charles and under Father Mike McDermott in the last 20 years or so. Pretty amazing. They give you a lot of advice, when you're brand new. And some of it you take, some of it you just kind of you just put it aside. But there was one person that gave me a book. And that book was very instrumental for me in my early years as a priest, and actually still to this day. And it kind of shaped a lot of how I think about my ministry. And the book is a book that perhaps you have read yourself. It's called Rediscovering Catholicism by Matthew Kelly. And it was brand new around 2000, 2002. Matthew Kelly is an evangelist and speaker from Australia. And he has written a lot of books, and he founded an organization called Dynamic Catholic that has a confirmation program and a sacramental preparation program. He's got lots of audios and stuff. You can go on YouTube and listen to him. He's got a great Australian accent, which makes it easy to listen to. But this book is really a profound book, and I think it's his best work yet. His first work is his best. And it takes the fundamental idea that there is a great misconception, a great misunderstanding of Catholicism and the Catholic Church and the Catholic faith. He says we oftentimes approach the Church as an institution with a set of rules and regulations and priests and bishops and the Pope, and we don't actually see kind of the spiritual side of what the Church, the body of Christ, is all about, and how we uniquely are meant to be involved in the Church. So he has one particular line, one phrase that is in that book that he uses over and over and over again, and oftentimes in all of his talks. He says that the purpose of Catholicism, the purpose of the Catholic faith, the Church, is that for each and every one of us to become the best version of ourselves. The best version of ourselves. Now, when I first heard that line, I thought, that sounds kind of strange to me. What do you mean the best version of myself? Are there many other versions of myself that are a possibility? And that's actually very true. And each and every one of us are created in the image and likeness of God, and God has a particular plan and purpose for our unique lives. We've been given the desire for God in our hearts. And that plan that God has for us, we often think of the big plans, What should I do in life? Who should I marry? All these kinds of big things. And that's part of God's plan. And a lot of times people fulfill that plan very perfectly, and sometimes other people don't fulfill it at all. And then there's everybody in the gap in between. But the plan that God has for our individual lives isn't just for those big things. It's meant to be for all of the little things that happen on a particular daily basis. God has a plan for us in our interaction with Him and with each other each and every single day. And we're called to live into that plan and to use His grace, to use His power of divine life within us to fulfill that plan on a daily basis. And that's what Matthew Kelly says about becoming the best version of ourselves. Because when we use God's grace, despite our own sinfulness, despite our fallen human nature, despite of the sinfulness of others, we have an opportunity to grow into the version that God created us to be as unique individuals, as men and women. And that's really kind of what he says in that book. And it's a powerful thing. And I think it's what the Lord is getting at in our gospel here today. He says, I've come to set the earth on fire, and how I wish it were already blazing. What he's saying there is how I wish every single person were living the best version of their lives as they were meant to be. And if you do that, you're going to be on fire. You're going to be ablaze. You're going to have power backing up everything you think and do and say. Because you will be living into God's plan for your life. And how it would be if each and every one of us did that. On the front of the bulletin cover, I put one of my favorite quotes from St. Catherine of Siena. She says, be who God meant you to be, and you will set the world on fire. To live into who God wants us to be, to do that every single day. In all of our interactions with people, we will set the world on fire. We will set others on fire as well. That's really what it means to kind of spread the faith. And how well we do that, of course, is really up to us. How much time do we give to that? In the letter to the Hebrews in the second reading, to keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, who inspires and perfects our faith. Because it is through him that we are able to become the best version of ourselves. And I like the image, too, of fire. Fire and water, for example, are amazing elements. Water, for example, we use for baptism. It cleanses us, purifies us. Water we need for life, but it's also kind of dangerous because you can drown in water. Fire, too. Fire is very dangerous. It consumes things. It burns things. It hurts people if you're burned. But fire is also refining and purifying. And that is what the Lord is saying. That we're called to refine our lives, to purify our lives by the divine fire of God. And it is through that we are set ablaze. Now, why is that necessary for each and every one of us? And why does Matthew Kelly say that line, to become the best version of ourselves, is so important for Catholicism? Because we've been hearing, like last week, I talked about how we're going to go from maintenance to mission. But when I say that, I'm not talking about me going from maintenance to mission, or the pastoral council doing that, or the finance council doing that, or some lay group in the parish, St. Vincent de Paul, or whatever, doing that. Each and every one of us are called to do that by how we live our lives, to go from maintaining how we do things to living into what God wants us to be as the best version of ourselves, to be on fire for the Lord, to be on fire for the faith, so that we go from that maintenance to mission and living in that new reality. That is what it means when Jesus says, how I wish the earth were on fire and how I wish it were already blazing. Now, blazing means that there can be some problems with that too, right? Because the rest of the gospel, the Lord says, I've come not to establish peace, but division. He knows that the fire will oftentimes be rejected and dismissed by a lot of people, especially people that are very close to us. They'll just dismiss it. They want any part of it. And that's when the Lord says, well, there's going to be division. Because sometimes the things that are worth having in life, not everyone's going to want to have those things. But they're meant for each and every one of us, even though some people reject it. It's called the gift of free will, right? One of the greatest gifts, the best gift that God has given us is the gift of free will, to freely choose him or to say, no, I don't want any part of that fire. I don't want any part of that water over there. I'm going to go my own way. We have to be able to say, that's okay. Not to let that drag you down or to become less of who God wants you to be just because the people around you are rejecting that. The Christian life is not easy. It's not a bed of rose petals. It's oftentimes thistles and thorns. It can be a very difficult thing. But the fire, the refining fire, the water of baptism and living into who God calls each and every one of us to be every single day is worth it 100 times over. Praise be Jesus Christ now and forever. Amen.
I'm Todd Ward, and I'm a member of the St. Pat's Finance Council. Last week, Father David and Brian Marlowe delivered the first of our three-part stewardship message. This ministry unit is part 2. As we move our parish from maintenance to mission, our costs increase because programs increase. A mission-focused parish requires the right number of people for our ministries like the Catechesis of the Good Shepherd, Youth Group, Stephen Ministry, and Alpha. People represent almost 60% of our parish budget, and 22% of that cost is for employee benefits. As you can imagine, when the cost of benefits rise disproportionately to revenue, our budget is strained. Over the last 4 years, the cost of benefits alone have risen 58%, while our sacrificial giving has remained virtually flat. I think you can see that that is an issue. We are a community of 3 parishes, St. Patrick, St. Rita, and Holy Cross. Our services, programs, and ministries are now integrated. This allows us to implement good stewardship by sharing personnel expenses across each parish budget, but that doesn't solve our problem. I know that listening to numbers from the AMLO is a lot like tinnitus, a horrible ringing in your ears. So I won't give you any more numbers. Instead, we have a simple handout that will be distributed to you as you leave Mass today. On one side is our mission statement, values, and priorities. On the other side are very simple pie charts that show our sources of income and major expenses. Should you want more detail, I will be in the narthex after Mass, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Also, for those questions that come up later, we've created an email address, ask the finance council at stpats.org. Feel free to send in your questions, we will reply. If you remember nothing else from what I've said today, you need to know that our current level of giving, not only treasure, but also of time and talent, does not provide the resources needed for us to make the shift from maintenance to mission. Next week, George Lane will give you part 3 of the message, explaining what this new budget means to each household and our responsibility to support our parish community. We have a fantastic community at St. Patrick. It is vibrant and growing. I sincerely appreciate your attention, support, and contributions. Let's work together to move from maintenance